Welcome, listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I'm the wife, y'all, comedian, player, postman.
This is so weird.
I'm joined by my husband and sports stat expert, Mr. Gary Hames.
Hey.
And also by our Hot Topics and social media maven, comedian Drew Harrison.
Who cares?
And rounding things out, sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Quick, hide the pills and the sharp knives.
To never miss our weekly episodes, extras, and more, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fan Wife, and support the podcast with cool sponsor perks at patreon.com/MyFantasyWife. Miss any of that? Go to our website, myfantasywife.com. It's got links to everything. Gary,
Yes.
tell us about this week's sponsor.
Sure thing, Blair. This week's sponsor is Pod Hive.
What?
Pod Hive assembles quality, smaller to medium-sized podcasts and matches them with local
No.
and regional advertisers in the areas where those podcasts have their strongest fan bases, even without tens of thousands of downloads a month. Advertisers benefit from the personal tone, dedicated audiences, and in-depth exposure podcasts offer without paying large podcast prices for listeners in areas where they can't take advantage of their business. Now signing up new podcasts. Go to podhive.com for more information. That's podhive.com.
Was there some kind of nuclear blast?
Pod Hive.
Okay. Was that a creative choice that you made independent of consulting with the
No, that's how you told me to do it.
nice Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm just going to have to yes and that. Otherwise, we're going to have an awkward start to the show. All right. All right, guys. It sounds like Rawhide a little bit. Pod Hive, Pod Hive,
Yeah.
Pod
Head 'em up,
Hive.
lead 'em out, head 'em up.
Pod Hive. Okay. Probably a copyright infringement there,
That's
but
pretty
we're
funny, though.
small potatoes, so we got no.
Ride 'em in Pod Hive.
All right, guys. Well, hey.
Listen in, Pod Hive.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Pod Hive.
okay. Well, see, now that would have been a thing. That would have been nice.
Well, I didn't think of it as fast as you
Okay,
did, Blair.
well,
You're the comedian.
Maybe
I'm
am
just
I?
a lump
Am
in the
I?
chair.
I feel like I'm just the cat herder. That's all I feel like.
You know what they call me at work?
Did you find that cat at home?
Oh, I don't want the cat. They can't find the cat now. Look, I can't talk about that right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, I can't talk about that right now. Speaking of cats, Drew is in a little bit of a bad mood because the Panthers. Not
You told me we weren't going to talk about it.
okay. Well, okay. So in other news, we have some exciting guests coming up on this episode, episode 87. We have comedian and writer of Angelino in the Outfield blog and on Scoreboard Sports, Mike Bridenstine. Yay!
Oh, that's a play on Angels in the Outfield.
Yes, it
isn't
is.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
What is that?
And it's a sports blog.
No, but what's Angels in the Outfield? Why is that familiar? What is
That's
it?
It's
a
a
movie.
movie where he sees angels on the players because his dad
We've
said
talked
they could
about
be
it at
together.
Is that a
great-
little kid or something?
Yeah,
That's how-
if his dad,
Oh, we
if
talked
the
about it
angels
with-
win the pennant, him and his dad are back together. He's in an orphanage.
I
Oh,
never
I-
go
I-
to little
I'm like,
kid
It's
movies.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, man.
If there's a little kid in it, I don't go.
Okay, well, I was like, well, how can you not remember this? We talked about it at great length. It was when you were out in Will's
Oh.
It's like 1991 or something like that.
And, you know, Gary, you really should listen to the episodes that you're not on. I mean, it's polite. Or at least download it for the numbers.
Right.
By the way,
Okay.
did I miss anything last week?
No, everything's fine. October 9th, we're going to have comedian.
You don't have to listen to the ones you missed. It's just me.
Okay.
94 was Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, God. Okay.
This is what you hired me to do.
Okay. October 9th, we have comedian Mia Jackson. October 16th, Denver comedian Zach Moss. 23rd, we have Kara Clank and Jared Logan. And October 30th, we have Brian Miller. So, yay!
Jesus, we're not even celebrating Halloween. God.
Well, Halloween's on a Monday. What is it? You want the
I need
30th?
I need like 4 days for Halloween.
Okay, well,
All right.
you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
All right. So, guys, to enjoy all of that, downloads in iTunes and Stitcher and all that good stuff. And just a reminder that our Pick 5 League happens every week. You don't have to play every week. You can just follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and you pick 5 games, and then you lose to Brian Bava, and he gets to play a theme song.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, how's everybody, before we get in the fact check in, how's everybody doing? How you doing, Drew?
Yeah.
It's good to have you back
Yeah, move on.
at the show. Okay.
I'm just messing. You guys doing okay?
Yeah.
Everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's okay. Cam Newton was my quarterback.
Yeah, he didn't do shit, did he?
You know, he got hit in the head pretty hard, I think.
What, from 4 weeks ago?
I don't
When
know.
they didn't call shit?
Okay,
Alrighty.
this is turning into like an angry, like War of the Roses scene of just a lot of
It's
conflict.
the NFL's
and
reason
anger.
the Panthers are 1-3. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, so it's a conspiracy.
Oh, and it's not a conspiracy. It's just facts.
Oh, okay.
It's happening right in front of you, bub.
Okay.
I mean, this right there.
And because the NFL doesn't want the Panthers to be popular, because why?
Because Roger Goodell is racist.
Oh, hey,
Wow.
you know what? I'm gonna move on. How you doing, Mr. Bishop?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. And how about you, Mr. Hames?
I'm fantastic.
Well, you really took us off to quite a start there at the beginning with a lot of. Do you have a lot of enthusiasm today?
Can we get one more of the pot hive?
Oh my God!
Yes.
We should warn the listener. Like, I feel like I've lost 20% of my hearing.
Wow, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
Pod Hive.
Keep those podcasts going with the money flowing.
But,
Okay. Wow, we've done a lot of extra for this
Yes.
this advertiser, by the way. All right, guys. Well, this time we're gonna get into some fact checking. Then, this is the part of the podcast where we correct the mistakes we made last week to make room for the mistakes we are going to make this week. And
You're going to have that stuck in your head the rest of the week.
one of it is we've referred to the Cincinnati quarterback as the red-headed guy.
Andy Dalton?
Yeah, but his
Okay,
name
there
is
we go.
Andy.
See, this is why you need me in a row.
Andy, yes, it is true. We love having you here. Isn't that a nice
It
thing?
was, thank you. That
Okay.
made me feel warm inside.
Okay, good.
It's
God.
warming up the dead inside that I
Oh,
was feeling.
thank God,
earlier.
because I was getting scared. Okay. And then also, when we were talking to Michelle Balloon about baseball card collecting, Gary, you and she had brought up the manufacturers of cards, Topps and Upper Deck, and you were both sort of blanking on some of the other
no, you didn't
names.
ask me that.
Well, she was then. Somebody was. We were trying to
Yeah,
come up
there's
with the
more.
others. Well, there's a lot more,
There's
but two of the big ones.
Fleer.
Two of the big ones. Well, yes, that I have here on
And,
the Don Russ and Fleer were
yeah.
two of the big ones. that
Don
I,
Russ? I never heard of Don Russ before.
Really?
It's one word.
It's
Oh,
like Don Russ.
Don Russ?
Like Don Russ.
Oh.
DONRUSS, one word.
Oh, Don Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like Don Russ better.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Like, does he work for an ad agency?
I think that's
Yeah,
like
he looks like one of those guys from
Mad Men?
From Mad Men, yeah, like the white-haired guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's who he looks
I was thinking like he was going to be like on a hip-hop station in the morning. Don Russ in the morning.
like. Right.
Right.
All-style, non-stop hip-hop and R&B. And conspiracy theories by our main man, Mr. Drew Harrison.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd listen.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I'd listen.
Baseball card collecting is
What
fun.
about Panini?
Is that one?
Yes.
I mean, this wasn't meant to be an exhaustive
Oh, okay.
list. I was just sort of
I was just
saying
a
this.
big.
never heard of
I was a
that either.
big
I
fan.
love panini.
Me too.
It's delicious.
It's like a quesadilla.
Panini.
No, that's not a panini. Sorry.
No.
It's a
that's-
press sandwich, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I could go for
Yes,
a
it
Panini
is.
right now.
Me too.
Okay, well, maybe we should pack it in early and just,
Really?
Everyone meet up.
No.
at
One of
Chops.
us could go get one while the three others of us continued on with it.
Really?
All right,
Who do
y'all
you
go
think is
ahead.
the
I'm
least
gonna
important
go-
part of the...
I like roasted red peppers on mine.
Okay, I
Really?
got you.
Yeah.
There's a
Hey, guys.
82% chance I'm
Hey,
not coming back.
guys.
I'm
We
a
got,
simple
we got
kind of
lots
guy.
of people we got to call today. So while we all love paninis and the Pod Hive theme, which is a lot of fun, and we'll do again, there's one more. It's not exactly a fact check, but when we were talking last week about collecting, and we were informing Michelle that Gary was quite a collector, and he was, I believe it was the second largest collector of cookie jars in the United States at one
You got
point.
cookie
There's a
jars,
Marvel
bro?
villain called the Collector.
Okay.
Is that you?
It could be.
Okay. Well, we mentioned that there was an episode of 30 Rock that she had not heard, where
I've heard of that.
where Alec Baldwin is sort of outed as a cookie jar collector, and it's so good. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew what I was talking about. Do you have that happen to?
Yeah, let's see if
have
it
that-
works.
Let's see if it works.
All right.
Sir, someone else called about purchasing your collection. Mr. Gary Heingarten.
No, Jonathan, he lives in Albany. The temperature fluctuations alone would... These things expand and contract. They're alive, Jonathan.
Hey, do you have a minute? Tracy's wife is... What's with the cookie jar?
I collect them.
Really? Is that some sort of unresolved childhood thing?
Nice try. We never had any cookie jars in my home because my mother never baked us any cookies because she never felt we deserved any cookies. So obviously it has nothing to do with my childhood.
But that cookie jar says Mom on it.
I don't think so. I've always viewed it as an upside down wow, but it doesn't matter now because...
Well,
Do you think that you said that Gary was the biggest?
I believe he was second. I always heard second, but anyway,
second biggest cookie jar guy.
Collector in the United States.
Do you think that like there's information on that? You know, when they were writing this episode, that they looked it up. And...
Well, you may not remember this. It was sort of an aside, but years ago, I had that very same thought, and so I tracked down the writer of that episode. This is when I was working at a talent management firm. So the people.
Now you're just funning us with this story.
No, this is for real. And I had a little back and forth with the person who was the writer, and he didn't know anything about cookie jars. He sort of just thought he wanted to make him an eclectic collector of something, and he said he picked cookie jars at random.
Right, but I'm saying that the name was so close to Gary's name, the guy that's going to buy it. Do you think that they looked up cookie jars? And they found Gary's name, and they just changed the last name a little
Possible.
I had not.
I was all over the early internet.
I had not. Well, yeah, but for cookie jars,
right?
Okay, sure. But the that made Gary laugh. I never make Gary laugh. That's fun.
I only laugh because of Lewis's laugh.
Okay. And
then he pulls the rug right out from under you.
Took it away. All right, guys, we got to get moving. We got stuff happening. We got to call people.
It's not better than this.
So the well, it might be. We don't know yet. So let's get into some hot topics, guys.
All right.
Hot topics. So a putt was sunk by a heckler at the Ryder Cup. Did you guys hear about this?
I did.
I don't listen to golf.
This is pretty funny,
well,
though, man.
I'll read it quickly. David Johnson is the 30-year-old fan from North Dakota. He couldn't restrain himself during the practice rounds when Rory McIlroy and some other folks missed a 12-foot putt. So they basically challenged him to do it.
12 foot.
Put 100. Well, a lot of people didn't make it, I guess, who get paid to make it. And one of them, Justin Rose, plopped down a $100 bill. And he used a putter, and he made it, and then he was a hero. So that's like, don't ever give the heckler the microphone.
Good for him. Wait for Justin Rose to be a dick about it.
Well, he lost $100 and got humiliated on national TV.
Good.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Justin Rose is, but I hate him now.
So he told the guy to come over.
Yeah, he's like, if this is so fucking easy, you get up here, I'll give you $100. He laid a $100 bill, and the guy drilled it and took his $100.
Fuck yeah. Good.
Yeah. It was
I hope Justin Rose never wins something ever again.
I hope they show that 100 times on SportsCenter.
Well, it's a moment for the little guy, but also a terrible, terrible thing if you do any stand-up comedy or similar, because that just encourages people. 99.99% of the time, hecklers do not turn out to actually be clever.
A similar thing actually happened at Caesar's Palace when who's a motorcycle?
Evel
Knievel was going to jump the fountains at Caesar's Palace, and a guy was heckling him, and he put $100 in a motorcycle. Said you try it, and the guy crashed in the middle of it. His body was torn apart.
That's why I'm enjoying this, because Justin Rose is an idiot. I'm not ever going to be like, well, here's $100. Bet you can't make the audience laugh.
Yeah,
know,
right? Exactly.
But the difference is that a comic doesn't have $100 to spare.
Touché.
Fair enough.
Well, they also didn't show the part in the bar at the hotel that night where Justin Rose beat the guy to death with his putter.
Right.
Wow.
Is it weird that I weirdly want that to be true as well?
Yeah.
There is a veil of darkness.
As long as he took his $100 back too. Beat him to death, then reach in his pocket.
Did you wear that at your wedding?
No.
The veil of darkness.
No, there's a veil of darkness that has descended upon this episode, and it's like, Gary, you have like a little weird. A violent edge to your commentary today. And Drew
my job.
Might jump off a bridge.
Well, his team lost, and my job's stressing me out.
Okay, well,
so that's where that comes from.
Well, we don't want to say anything to get anybody.
I didn't say a word.
Okay, all right, guys. Can we have a little change music, Mr. Bishop?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have it handy?
Yeah, of course. I got it right here.
All right.
1 second. Just change that thing right
here. Yeah,
let's
do. All right, guys, we're into football now. Let's
Can I go first?
Well,
I have a story to tell.
No, you can't
it's
go
about
first.
The goddamn Panthers.
We're burning daylight.
Yeah, but I have to tell this story. May as well let me tell it.
Okay, but I'm gonna call Dink first because we forgot to call him last week.
That's fine.
And it's his turn to do smack talk.
We can talk about how great the Cowboys look so far.
Well, we don't have a lot of time. We only have about
That sentence only took about a second.
Hold
I did
on.
it again. Did you see that's twice?
No. Hello?
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, Dink.
Oh, it's
how
our
are
favorite.
ya?
It's our favorite guest.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on, Blair?
It's all kinds of things are going. Well, I'll tell you the truth, Dink. It's been a little dark episode so far. Drew is very depressed, and Gary.
Why?
He likes the Panthers, and Gary has said a lot of things that have violent overtones, and Lewis is, I don't know. He's off in his own place, maybe. So
I'm just chilling.
No, he's just chilling. So we're calling you here on the Smack Talk hotline. Dink Kearney, comedian, is also part of our fantasy league. And just real quick, Dink, I'm wondering what kind of Smack Talk you got for our guys today.
Well, I'm doing good, and I plan on winning the whole thing.
You do.
Yes, I do, because every time, I don't even have to watch the games. I just get an update that one of my players has scored and I'm getting points.
Right.
And I just think I'm going to win the whole thing. I got some of the best players, and I think it's going to be y'all's job to beat me. I really do. Y'all got to come after the best. That's how I really feel.
Hey,
I
Dink.
really do.
Hey, Dink. Drew, reigning champion.
What's up,
here.
Drew? I'm sorry, Drew. Yeah, okay. Okay, Drew.
Just wanted to say I'm 2-1, about to be 3-1 because I'm winning right now. So I feel like the crown's on my head until it's taken from me.
Well,
Right. Because you know,
I'm right behind you.
In fantasy football, though, you know it's generally the team that's in first place in week 3 that is the real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I go,
because there probably won't be any injuries between now and the playoffs.
No, none of that.
Well, you never know. I gotta keep hope alive. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I gotta believe that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do. If I do win this year, which I'm going to,
Uh-huh.
my first thank you is going to go to Blair Postman for taking Cam Newton off my head.
You know, if you listen to the special that Gary and I did when we critiqued it, I said that I was your fantasy football higher power.
Yeah.
Because I did for
took
you
him
what
out of
you
my
could
hands.
not
I
do for
appreciate it.
yourself.
And now I have Aaron Rodgers, and I'm
There you
good.
go.
Yeah, well, you should have had the dude from Atlanta.
All right. Hey, Dink, what's your big
Ask
outlook?
Dink if he's watched the Panthers game.
Did you watch the Panthers game, Dink?
We weren't supposed to.
I watched the Panthers game. I came in in the second quarter, and the Panthers they're having trouble. They're in trouble. They really are. Their defense is not as good as it was. The offense is not clicking, and they're gonna be in serious trouble, man.
Yeah,
I hope they can turn it around.
Everybody already knows that, though. We all know the Panthers suck. I was worried about more Atlanta and the 503 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, Jesus. Did you see the stat line for Atlanta?
Yeah. And anytime you make Matt Ryan look like a Hall of Famer, there's a problem. I think he's decent, but he's not. He's not 503 yards good now. He's not that good.
Let's just wait to see how good the Dallas defense makes Blaine Gabbert look. So it's okay. We can wait. Hang out.
Oh, well, please. Well, I hope that doesn't happen, because I probably have a heart attack and will not make it to my next show in Wilson, North Carolina. So let's keep it positive. Let's just pray that does not happen, because our defense is not that good. So let's just all get together and pray, because I can't have it. I'm telling you.
We don't need prayer. The 5-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys will be just fine. Thank you.
What did you last win? Like
I
1924?
hope so, man. I hope so.
All right, Dink, I appreciate your.
I just like to point out that the Cowboys' record is the same as Drew Harrison's fantasy football record, 2-1.
Okay. So by that math, and by Drew's reasoning, they should be able to win it all.
No, and Drew is about to win his 3rd game, and we're playing the 49ers. So, you know.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, Dink, I really appreciate the positivity that you've injected into this day for us.
Absolutely. That's the only way you can be on a Sunday, when you're grilling and the Cowboys are playing, and, of course, when you're drinking. So, hey, it's all good.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Dink. We'll be in touch.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a good Sunday, okay?
You too, man.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
I like that guy.
I know, because he's very likable.
I know.
And
He
he's
could
a
just pick a
Cowboys
better
fan.
team. That would be something.
And he's a Cowboys
If there was a
fan.
better team, he probably would.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. All right, Gary. Now, first, I wanted to, before you tell your story,
It's a really short story.
I wanted to acknowledge that.
It's called The Gift of the Magi.
Okay. Last year.
I don't know if I want to hear the story.
Last week's pick 5 winner is Brian Bava. Brian Bava won.
Can we please get a second listener so somebody else could win?
No, other people signed. We didn't have as high a participation last week as we have for other weeks. But he did win, and so we're going to play his theme, his victory song.
This is a terrible choice, by the way.
Well, but if you win, you get to choose. He chose Whip It by Devo. I don't know why. I don't ask those kinds of questions. I thought Bitches Back was nice. I did that last week.
Right. I got to think. I don't know what I'm going to choose.
Okay.
He already took the theme from Jeff. Maybe I'll have the...
you can't take this away from him. Congratulations, Brian. And when Gary wins, he can have his theme song.
Theme from Rawhide.
Well, maybe. Or maybe that one from of Smoking the Bandit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or some other Jerry Reed.
Yeah, some other Jerry Reed. All right. Congratulations, Brian.
No, my first song is absolutely gonna be Kippadada.
I don't know what that is.
Well, good thing you're not ever
gonna
win.
song.
The what?
The Fish Pun song.
Fish
pun? No.
What?
Yeah.
Gary can never win Pick 5.
Right.
Ever. It's a novelty song that's all using puns about names of fishes.
And if you want to have a good time,
terrible.
Lois, look that up.
It's Gary can.
What is it?
Now I know what my mission in life is.
It's called Wet Dream.
No, never.
Wet dream and it's about fish.
Yeah.
It's never can be played. No.
Okay.
No, Gary can never win.
I have a feeling we're about to hear.
Wow. Okay, Gary can never win. Okay.
Because I didn't believe anybody would believe me. You know, we have an all-cat theme fantasy team selected completely from teams with cat mascots. And strangely enough, a cat team played Thursday night and a cat team played 9:30 this morning in London. So when I woke up from my nap at 12:30 this morning, I pulled up their score. Would anybody like to guess what the score of the cat theme team was? At 12:30 today, before any of the regular games started.
68.
No, I need a score. It's like one against the other.
Okay. 68 to 12.
Okay, that's a good guess, actually. What do you think, Drew?
I'm going to go 70 to 10.
And I got Blair to back me up on this because I don't believe anybody would believe this. When I woke up at 12:30, the cat team theme was winning 92-0.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a little ridiculous. And it was like, it was
I took
none
great
of the real
joy out of
games
that.
had started yet. It was very odd.
I really want to go find those people and show up at their door, knock on the door. When they open the door, say, "Are you realizing you were losing 92-0 to a team selected merely from cat mascots?"
Yes.
Whereas you could pick anyone.
Yeah. Well, they might realize that.
I think you should.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard heads.
And then I'm gonna throat punch them.
Okay. See,
And
that's
it's
what I'm
just
talking
that
about.
McDonald's that I don't like. All the rest of them are fine.
Okay. Nobody knows what
I
you're
know.
talking about but me. And Gary saw a YouTube video that he liked. What is this? This is the theme from Amityville Horror.
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Yeah.
I was taking a dark turn, so I decided to.
Yeah, I think that's right. Very dark.
So this woman.
We're gonna tell about a YouTube video that has nothing to do with anything.
All right, never mind.
We don't have a lot of time.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh Jesus! Now I'm the bad guy.
Uh huh.
You see, this theme music is making upsetting. All right, guys. I wanted to know if there was anything else about football. Before we get on to the CFL.
Well, I know we weren't going to talk about this, but two of the most ridiculous, unbelievable offensive performances in the history of the NFL in the same game today, in the Atlanta-Carolina game.
Which was?
Well, Matt Ryan threw for 503 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is just, and I benched him in all of my leagues. And then, who's the receiver? Julio Jones caught 300 yards and a touchdown. This is crazy. The record is 336 by who?
Oh, that was cool.
Flipper Johnson?
Right. Anderson, Johnson. We got both kinds.
Wait, so what happened? Explain the Flipper Johnson or Flipper Anderson. That was the most yards.
Is it Flipper Anderson or Flipper Johnson?
It's Anderson.
Yeah, he played for the
Rams.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah.
And he had the most yards ever.
He has the record. He still does.
336.
See, here's my concern. And I was telling Gary this.
You have a concern about Flipper?
No, it's
Flipper
not
Anderson?
about that. It's about. Well, I feel like the first.
A wide receiver named Flipper.
What? No, just let me finish.
I'm just saying, that's.
Oh my God! Please.
Why didn't he play for the Dolphins? So many questions.
Right, that's what I was trying to say. Nobody gets me. I'm in my own little world.
Sorry, Gary. I didn't mean to misunderstand you and hurt your feelings.
Thank
like
you,
that.
Lewis. Bail me out once again.
You're welcome.
I'm afraid that the level at which I am learning new things about football in this our second fantasy league year is diminishing. Like, I feel like the amount of effort I would have to put in to learn more than I learned last year is disproportionately greater than the amount of effort I had to put in last year to learn the little that I learned last year.
I feel like that's true across all the sports. How's your NASCAR knowledge growing this year?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's not growing.
Baseball, you feel like you know all the Cubs now?
No, well, I don't know, but I'm going to listen to our guest. He knows everything about the Cubs.
Okay.
But there's every year there's new people, you know?
I think you're just being forced to confront the reality that you don't like sports.
No, I like watching it.
That's what
and
it sounded
it's
like.
fun. I like it. I just
Yeah.
And I paid attention and I took out people who weren't going to play today. I did all that.
I'm concerned that I'm not learning as much about wedding dress fabric this year as I was learning last year.
I think that was a sexist metaphor, but it doesn't really work because we don't get married every year. I don't think.
Yeah, well, when you change your mind about that, you let me know.
Okay, I don't.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
That was supposed. I don't even know what that was supposed to be. That was supposed to be an insult, but
I'm the only one that wants to get married every year around here, I guess.
Hold on, you guys get married every year?
I want to. She said no.
Really?
Yeah.
no.
Aw.
It's the most unromantic thing that's ever come out.
What do you?
I even offered to learn about the wedding dress fabric. She was uninterested.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
I like that. That is what I would like. That's my fantasy football somehow.
Yeah. Wedding dress fabric.
Yeah, not exactly. No.
No, I offered to go all up and down the East Coast seeing every obscure comedian that ever did any forgettable set, but she said no.
Yeah. Now that sounds like something I'd make you do. Okay. So, can we have a little bit of? I feel like I want a little change music for this next one.
Okay.
This next thing.
All right.
Just because it's different.
What, to talk about Canadian football
Well,
league that shouldn't even be in existence?
Hold on a second.
Is it Gary's new podcast? Cut from the same cloth? A podcast
about wedding dresses?
Yeah.
Wedding dress, the wedding dress industry, everything wedding dress?
Right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Let me think about a name for that. We need a good name.
No, we're gonna talk about. Well, if I need my, I feel like I need my cheese. Oh, okay. Cleansing the palate, guys. So we have a lot of listeners in Canada.
What?
We have listeners in Canada.
Brian Bava lives in Idaho.
It's not
Close
about
enough.
Brian Bava. We have listeners in Canada, and one of them
Are
is
they learning about American football with you?
Well, I hope not. Okay. I hope that they listen to you guys more about that and maybe do some research on their own. But one of them was Kaylee Feldman, and he suggested that we talk a little bit about Canadian football. And there are differences. Do you know, first of all, that they are in their 15th week? But here's the thing that really freaked me out. They have 9 teams.
Is this the Canadian football?
Yeah, this is the
team?
Canadian Football League
Nice.
theme.
Oh, nice. All right, we're all learning something. They have 9 teams in the league. That means that they have 5 in one division and 4 in another division.
Yeah, that's 450 guys that couldn't make it in the NFL.
Well,
that's nice.
I don't like that lack of symmetry. I don't like that 9-team business. That's terrible. I
You
hate
think that was
that.
what the Steely Dan song "Hey 9 Team" was about?
No, that's Hey 19. And so, yeah, no, I don't think it was about that at all, actually. But do you guys know some of the differences between the NFL and the CFL?
No, I don't.
I
care.
know
I
some
don't care about the
differences.
CFL.
Wow. Okay. Well, I just thought it'd be nice for our Canadian
I probably would watch golf before I watch the CFL.
Are you sure that
NFL
there's...
Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon came from the CFL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He left the CFL to go to the NFL.
Right.
Well, they
Saying.
have
Joe Cap, former Vikings star Joe Cap came
Yeah,
from
no
the
one
CFL.
cares about that guy.
Wow.
Well, that was 40 years ago.
they have different field sizes.
Yes.
20 more?
Is it smaller so they don't have to run as
No,
much?
it's bigger.
Okay.
And there's
Yeah.
more passing.
Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
So
And they
apparently,
only have-
all that effort that I could have put
Now,
into our
Here's
if
the-
the,
here's
if the
the
CFL,
interesting-
if they get injured, does the free health care cover it?
I
Probably.
yeah. Why wouldn't it?
Here's
It
the
covers
interesting,
everything. It's
the interesting
amazing.
difference. There's a lot of differences. This is the really interesting difference is that they only have 3 downs.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the field's 50 yards too, like the Arena Football League?
No.
No, it's
bigger.
bigger. It's
They
bigger.
have a bigger end zone too.
The length of the field of the NFL is 120 yards, and the CFL it's 150 yards.
Yep.
So just
And
the
it's-
end zone's bigger?
No, it's wider too.
Yeah.
Okay, well that doesn't matter if the end zone's bigger.
No, but you can run like a fly pattern from the 5.
Okay.
There's a lot more
kinda fun.
passing and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that there's some positive things that we've learned about Canadian football.
And it would be great if the NFL field was wider, because then the fast guys start in the middle, and you could actually use your speed to get around the corner if the field was wider.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot
Well,
more.
maybe they
scoring
should go play in Canada then.
Maybe they. Maybe
Wow.
They should. At least some of the Panthers probably should.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, when Romo comes
Too
back,
soon?
Dax can go play in Canada.
I don't think that's what's going to happen.
So, guys, what is going on that's like a surprise in the NFL right now?
The fucking Panthers are a surprise.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's the season's biggest surprise.
I mean, right? Because they
They're
should
runner-up
have
to
been
the
good.
Super Bowl last year. Yeah.
Lots of people thought they were going to win the Super Bowl.
They only lost one game all last year.
Did they?
Real
lose?
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anyone think that
I like that you have to distinguish the real questions from
Well,
the
I think
unofficial ones.
I think it's a necessary.
I think it's
Yeah,
necessary.
do you think that right now the Panthers could win the CFL championship?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
No, at least we're honest.
Well, but what is it? What's so different? What happened? Did they trade someone away? Is Cam just depressed? Like
They just
Drew?
can't be on the same page.
Wait-
And Cam got beat the fuck up in the first game, and the NFL did jack shit about it. And obviously, it did something to him.
Wait, is that Gary? Is that what you think? Seriously, without just tormenting Drew here for a second.
I don't think it's on purpose. I think they called that game very loosely, and he took some shots that probably should have been flagged.
But-
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
No, but do you think that has affected his playing? Like it hurt his head, or that it's?
Well, it's a really long season. If you get beat the shit out of you in the first game, I don't know that it's shown up yet, but it'll show up before the
we
year's
also
over.
don't have. We have 2 rookie cornerbacks.
Yeah.
We have
Well,
our
that's what I
running
mean. Are
back
there
is out.
positions that I
Yes.
don't appreciate
Yes.
that are different?
Losing the dude to the Redskins probably hurt.
Yeah, but he hadn't done shit for the Redskins.
No, that's true. Because once you get the money in the NFL on the defensive side, you're never any good again.
Right.
It happens over and over and over and over and over.
So
And K'Wan Short's not playing like he played last year. Kuechly's having a tough time this year. Davis got hurt today. It's just a lot of shit's piling up right now.
what other things, Gary? While we leave Drew alone for a second,
Uh-huh.
what other things are there that are surprises in this so far
A
in
kid
week 4?
Fuller for Houston is really good.
But what about Wentz? That's a big surprise
Yeah,
to me.
that's
I
a big
didn't think
surprise.
Wentz
See,
was
that's the
going to
quarterback
be
position.
Oh yeah, what about Wentz? I don't know. Who that
A lot of
is.
successful
rookie quarterback
rookie
for the
quarterbacks.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys got one too.
Prescott's doing fantastic.
Yep.
All right.
Do you think that when and if Tony Romo ever comes back, do you think if there's the possibility that they will get rid of not get rid of, but what's the quarterback's name right now for
Dak
the Cowboys?
Prescott.
A,
No,
lot, a lot of experts right now are saying they'd be idiots if they did that.
Yes, but
Yeah.
they're idiots. So I think he's definitely coming back because they didn't put him on injured reserve. If you put him on injured reserve, he'd be out for a minimum of 8 games, but you get to pick up another player for his roster spot. If they didn't think he was coming back, they would have put him on reserve.
Do you think that they're just going to be like, we'll put him back in. He'll get hurt within a game or two, and then
Right.
we can really get rid of him. We'll show that we gave him a
That's-
chance.
Yeah,
That's
like you
actually
want to seem like a
possible.
good guy.
I think
Right.
that's what happened the last time he got hurt, actually.
Right, but they just didn't have a good backup or
Yeah,
whatever.
right. Their backup
They didn't
wasn't-
think it all the way through.
Right. So
They're not going to make that mistake this
no,
time.
the thing about the NFL, he makes too much money. Like they have to pay him like $26 million this year, so he's playing.
Right.
However, they can restructure all that stuff and get rid of him after the year is over and take much less of a salary cap hit. So if the guy's that good, he'll play the rest of the year. But at that point, they'll ditch him and go with the young guy. That's what I think.
I think they're just going to put him back in, hope he's going to break because he'll
Well,
get hurt again.
the thing is, he's a good quarterback. If they put him back in, he's got 10, 12 years experience in the NFL.
Right.
Like, they'll be fine. If he
Yeah.
stays healthy, that's fine. He's a good quarterback. If he gets hurt, they got the kid. So, yeah, either way.
Dallas is losing 0-7 right now, by the way.
Okay.
He's lashing out because he's hurt. He
Yeah, I
wants to hurt He wants other people to hurt the way he's feeling hurt right now.
Dallas is losing.
Hey,
7-0.
the Raiders won though. The Raiders won the game.
If Lewis died and came back as a troll that lived under a bridge, I would do whatever was necessary to never even be in that half of the country just to make sure I never went across the bridge that he was the troll under.
Okay,
'Cause
good
he's
to know.
Scary troll.
Good to know. Yes. it's
Scary
good.
troll.
Yeah.
So, was there something about Christine Michaels? Is he diminished in your eyes now? Because he was sort of like someone you've been a little obsessed with.
Hey, tell me the truth.
What?
How do you know that name?
Because I heard you say it,
Uh-huh.
and we talked about it.
I don't know.
Because his name is Christine, and I said, "Is it spelled like Christine?" He said, "Yeah, it is."
Christine Michaels is a Harvard
See,
player.
God help us.
Right. So is he your sort of like outstanding surprise player
Yeah,
of the year?
I took him in like 782 leagues.
But I mean, seriously, if you had to pick one player who was a positive like outstanding in a unexpected way so far this season? Is it him or is it somebody else?
No, he's a good one. He's done really well. A lot of times
Who is
I was
he
able
with?
to.
Which
He plays for Seattle. They
Right.
had Thomas Rawls coming back. Their former running back retired at the end of last season. They had Thomas Rawls, who had played well last year, but he got hurt. And everybody said Christine Michael was going to be good, and Rawls got hurt. First thing he's been in all my teams.
I will tell you, my surprise player of the year is
Yes.
Melvin Gordon.
Yes.
Who is he?
He was a rookie last year. I picked him up because he was this stud out of Wisconsin.
And he stank.
And he didn't do shit last year, and now he's killing it.
There's a thing in fantasy football that they refer to as like second-year guys that were supposed to do great and didn't do anything. And
Sophomore slump.
Right. Once the it's sophomore success basically, I guess, because once the lights and the attention of them being number one draft choice and they fail and the attention is away from them, and many times they'll succeed the second year. It takes a while. Those playbooks are
Abdullah
like a
didn't-
phone book.
Didn't get that.
No, well, it's not for everybody, but I mean that is a thing. Some guys take a year to get it.
All right.
Yeah, I wish Kelvin Benjamin would have.
So one more quick story.
No, go ahead, and because then I want to ask you about the college game.
I was driving around this morning, and I was listening to ESPN Radio, and they were telling a story. Who's the horrible actor that suddenly became good later in life that Stewie makes fun of on The Family Guy?
That could be a lot of.
No, you know the
What was
one.
he in?
You know, we make fun of him all the time. The
Macaulay
Family Guy,
Culkin?
where Stewie keeps telling him what a bad actor he is, and he's just chuckling. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey, yes.
Wait, he got good?
No,
you want-
yeah, dude, did you see, what was the HBO
Dallas.
show?
Oh well, that was True Detective.
Did you see
Oh,
True
Dallas
Detective?
Buyers
Oh
Club.
my God, he was fantastic.
I didn't.
on
I
that.
watched season 2. I didn't watch
Yeah,
season 1.
yeah, yeah.
I'm an idiot. I
Did you
watched.
see-
No.
I watched the terrible
season
season.
1 is one of the best things ever been on TV. You gotta
Yeah,
watch that.
I got excited about it. Watched season 2 and was like, I'm
Yeah.
never watching this show.
Anyway,
again.
so they have Terry Bradshaw, and they're interviewing him, and he's talking about doing his only nude scene he's ever done in a movie. And Matthew McConaughey walks in the room, and he's naked.
Yeah.
And so he said he came back to his trailer.
Failure to Launch, I
that what it
believe,
was?
that
Okay.
movie.
he was naked in that movie?
Yeah.
Not
And so-
proud of that.
And so, like, they didn't show, like, the way they shot the shot he was talking about, there was a fishbowl, and they panned up, and right when they got to the goods, the fishbowl was in the way, and then
Right.
they panned up the rest. But he had to be basically naked.
Right.
And
Did
so,
he get to put a tube sock
well,
in it?
yes, that's
Okay.
the funny part. So they get back, he gets to his trailer to get ready, and there's an 18-inch, he called it a cock sock, and they had to beep him
Yeah.
every time he said it. It was quite funny on ESPN trying to tell this story, because
Right.
they are very family-oriented.
Yes.
And there was an 8-inch one and a 4-inch one. And he said he was convinced that, like, the wardrobe guys were making fun of him the whole time, and he knew they were all going to be talking about, like, which one he decided to wear. So he said he felt like he had to take the medium one because there was just no way he could take the big one or the small one because of the shit he would have taken. And so he gets there, and he said it was the most uncomfortable thing because there's 100 people in the room. It's the most uncomfortable thing he's ever done. And so they shoot a few takes, and then they're finally going to do the one with Matthew McConaughey in it. And he had put boxer shorts back on, and Matthew McConaughey went to the director and said, I got to have this shocked look on my face, and I want him to put the cock sock back on because I don't think I'm going to be shocked by Terry Bradshaw in shorts the way I would be in a cock sock. And I want my face to look realistic.
Right.
And so they said, okay, and they sent him back out of the room, and Terry Bradshaw took all his clothing off, and when he came walking in, he grabbed his junk and waved it at him, and McConaughey about swallowed his tongue, and they used that take. He said, if you watch his face in the movie, you'll know exactly what he's talking about.
He was
I
shocked.
thought that was very funny.
All right.
Yeah.
That was fun, Gary.
And they played, and you can imagine, if you've ever heard Terry Bradshaw, he's
have.
telling this
We used
story.
to book him a lot
and
at
it's,
when I
so
was a
you know
speaker
what that
agent.
sounded like. I was recounting it much less
He's quite-
comically than he did.
Yeah, he was quite popular.
Yeah.
Funny. Well, real quick before we call our guests, Clemson and Louisville, that was a big game.
Oh, what a game! Did you watch that?
I did. That was a great game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carolina for upsetting Florida State
Yes,
as well.
on a 54-yard field goal with no time on the clock. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And his career long before that was 49. I
See,
think.
Drew, not everything's bad.
No,
See?
Carolina. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
As they won that miracle the week before too. Yep.
So,
Got a shootout with Pitt.
what's
of
the
all
name
teams.
of?
Right.
No one cares about college football.
I want a live goat. Give me the live goat.
Bring me the head of Clemson's head coach.
Wow.
Didn't
He's
they
an
win?
idiot, by the way.
Didn't they
I
win?
hate that guy.
Didn't
I don't
You
know
said
why. I
head
hate that guy.
2 times in 3 words, and it made me not as
Yes,
scared.
Clemson won. Their coach is an absolute
so
moron.
They won in spite of their coach, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. What?
Bring me the head of the assistant coach. Then.
Right. That's
right.
right.
That's a little more like
I
it.
feel like an actual troll would have a certain power of speech that, like, he wouldn't use 2 words that close together. Because it takes away from your fear. When you're like, wait
Look,
a minute,
he's-
that sounded really weird.
He's a
Redundant?
troll under the bridge that went to North Carolina public schools.
Dude, am I the only one that read Billy Goat's Gruff?
No, No, that was a long. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, I didn't
not
mean
recently.
Yesterday or anything.
Not.
The hell is that?
Like I finished War and Peace, and I thought, I'll read.
It's like a Middle Ages. It was like a Middle Ages fairy tale.
No, it's a little tiny kid's book about a troll under a bridge, and he tries to eat these goats.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's hilarious.
Shit kids want to hear about.
Well, in the 70s, they just tried to scare the shit out of you.
My mother used to read me one called Chain Gang Beating.
Good God.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, she didn't.
My uncle showed me it, like the Pennywise.
But it took me a second. I thought maybe she had. And then I'm like, she did like to scare Gary into acting correctly, but I think she wouldn't know what a chain gang is.
Famous children's book, Chain Gang Beating.
Yeah, no, not so much. So the Louisville, what's the name of the Louisville
Cardinals?
No, the quarterback.
What is that guy's name? Jackson, yeah.
But they both had like humongous games, right?
Yeah,
yes,
no,
they did. They both threw the ball all over the damn field.
It was very exciting.
Yeah, that's game of the year to me. Although Louisville has to play Houston later, that's going to be a kicker too.
Is Houston good?
They're the same kind of team, like a lot of offense, no defense, and they're not like.
They got to play Houston?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a game too. But
now,
yes, same sort of teams. That'd be 100-99.
And North Carolina kind of just got good last year, right? Football wise, I mean.
They were pretty good last year.
They were building up to it the few years before that.
Yeah.
Like they used to be terrible.
Yeah.
Like they had great years in the 90s with Mac Brown, fell off, and then Larry Fedora slowly getting him back up. But I'm scared. I heard Larry Fedora's name attached to the LSU job, so I'm a little worried.
I'm just waiting for the next fake class scandal to rip the team apart.
Shut your mouth.
Wow. See, we had a nice minute there. Now it's gone. Well, I always thought of North Carolina and Duke and like as these, same as Georgetown at least, used to be these powerhouse basketball teams that had no football. I'll put it to you this way. I went to Washington. I put it to you this way. I went to Washington University. We were whatever the lowest rung of Division 3. Yeah, like just the lowest rung of everything. And yet we played Georgetown in football like every other year.
Yeah, because they were a Division 3
Georgetown
football team.
was terrible football.
Well, but that's how I imagine like
they
Duke
didn't
and
even
North Carolina.
have a football team when they were winning all the basketball championships.
UNC and Duke started out as a football rivalry.
Oh, really?
And then it.
Well, I guess that makes sense though, just because it's been around so much longer.
We didn't mention this last week, but Duke went to Notre Dame last week and won. At
Wow.
Notre Dame.
It's Notre Dame. Who cares?
I don't know, man.
Didn't Duke get beat by Wake Forest this week?
I don't know. Probably. Wake Forest is pretty freaking good too, though. Yeah. What are they? 5-1, 4-1.
All right, guys.
I think they're undefeated.
All right.
Wake Forest?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys. I'm gonna call our guest Mike Bridenstine now.
And we're gonna talk baseball.
We're gonna talk a lot of baseball. Right. Let's see how he is.
That's the round one with the wood bat things.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like cricket.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yes, is this Mike Bridenstine?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Mike, this is Blair Postman, and you're on the air with my Fantasy Wife podcast. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Hey, and just a little note, at any time if you're having trouble hearing me or the guys, just let us know. But let me do a little quick introduction of you for the listeners, if I could. Mike Bridenstine is a comedian and actor who's appeared on Comedy Central, The Eric Andre Show, Last Call with Carson Daly, and all kinds of other wonderful stuff and national commercials. He's also the co-host and producer of Gentlemen Scumbags podcast. That's a wonderful name, by the way. And writer of Angelino in the Outfield blog on scoreboardsports.com. Everyone, big round of applause for Mike Bridenstine. And
that was a good applause.
Yeah, well, there's 4 of us here. I'm going to quick give you their names. Just a little reminder. We have my husband, Gary Hames. He's our sports stat expert.
Hey, how's it going?
And you guys might have met many years ago.
Really?
Long
in DC
in Chicago.
In Chicago.
And let's see, we've got our sports and social media maven, Drew Harrison.
Hey.
And
hello.
And we have our finally a comedian and sound engineer, Louis Bishop.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow.
That's plenty of people for the podcast. Luckily, we have a very expansive studio space that it's very elaborate here in Lewis's 3rd bedroom. So
you guys need more people.
Yeah. It kind of helps. It kind of helps things, keep some energy up,
One more person who knew something about sports would be helpful.
Oh, that's a shot at me. That's a shot at me. That's okay. I just make the trains run on time.
Are you okay?
But are you learning?
Are you sure? Are you having a stroke? Can you smile for me?
I'm smiling.
Not just the left side of your mouth.
So Mike, you can't see this, but I'm holding more things than I normally hold. Okay. So Gary, can you hold this right here like that?
Wow.
Okay,
baby.
thank you. I got a little. Am I
holding it right?
You're holding. Oh, stop it. You're okay.
You'll never know.
Okay.
Right, I won't. You're right.
All right. Okay, Mr. Bridenstine.
She's a wonderful actress.
Oh gosh. Mr. Bridenstine, I think I've circled all the cats back up right now, and I wanted to
Please,
ask.
Mr. Bridenstine was my dad's name.
Oh, okay. Isn't your name also?
I thought it was Sarah.
No.
Am I wrong?
That's
okay.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
All right.
All right, Mike. I wanted to when we ask all our comedian guests to come on, we ask them to tell us a little bit about what they're obsessed with right now, or what they've ever been obsessed with sports-wise. And yours is all kind of, there's a big confluence of events where everything you've ever been obsessed with seems to be becoming very important right now, and that's baseball and specifically the Cubs.
That's right.
And you said that we weren't allowed to talk about any other sports with you, only baseball and the Cubs.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with anything else until this season is over.
So tell us a little bit.
That's respectful. That's respectful.
You think so, Drew?
Yeah.
So Drew and Gary actually do know a good bit about baseball. But I wanted to ask you, just sort of when you were a kid growing up, when did you first become a Cubs fan, and what's sort of your iconic Cubs story?
Well, the Cubs were always on TV on WGN, and when I was a little kid, they were terrible. But every adult man that I knew in my family watched the Cubs, so they would just be on all the time. And so, like, when I'm a little kid, I started playing baseball and collecting baseball cards. And my favorite player was Andre Dawson. Like, that's the earliest player I really remember. And it happened to be the year that he hit 49 home runs and won the MVP. And this past year, I went to spring training to see the Cubs play, and I met Andre Dawson, and I froze like Ralphie in A Christmas Story, meeting Santa Claus. My wife had to speak for me.
Oh.
I met my childhood idol after like all these years, and I choked so bad.
Did you like shake his hand? Or
you didn't call him the Hawk? That was your chance, man.
I was in line to get his autograph, and I had like all these things in my head. Like, man, if you hadn't have played on turf all those years, you would have done so much. Your knee problems would. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. I took a picture with him, and I shook his hand, and I got his autograph.
And your wife just had to shuttle you through the process.
Wow.
And I had to explain to her later, like, what that meant to me.
Well, what did it mean to you? I mean, is there anybody you could have met in baseball who would have been more mesmerizing to you than that?
I mean, sure, I would probably geek out with like a lot of different people, but he's number one. I don't even know who else would have that reaction out of me. Maybe maybe Michael Jordan or somebody like that.
Just some big time.
Yeah, I've met a lot of people that I really like, and I just acted like it was no big deal. But with him, I became that 7-year-old watching TV all over.
Right. Well, that's kind of awesome, though. It keeps us humble. Gives us something to have awe about. I think that's a nice thing.
No, I'm bragging.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go. No, you have feelings. That's great. So, well, tell us a little bit about now. I don't want to jinx anything, and the premise of this show is that I don't know anything about sports, and I'm trying to learn it through these gentlemen and playing, in fantasy leagues and such. But I understand that the Cubs are doing quite well this year.
Yeah, they are. This is their best season that they've had since 1910, I think, in the regular season.
That was back in the Tinker to Evers to Chance era.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They didn't like each other, though.
Right. Well, who would?
Were those people's names?
That was a famous double play combination in the
second and short
in the aughts.
Okay. In the
There
aughts.
was a guy who wrote a poem about them, and then they kind of became household names because everybody liked the poem.
Oh. And so, does it make you happy? Or now, I have a certain worldview, so it might make me nervous. If my favorite team ever, who had this history of not quite winning, was so good. Are you feeling optimistic? How do you deal with it day to day?
Right now, it's like I have two things in my life that are like these daunting shadows that could be horrible and they could be like the most like good. And one is the election and one is supposed to be.
And they're both going to be wrapping up kind of around the same time.
That's what sucks. And if I had to choose, like if you could have one be terrible and the other be, I would take a Cubs championship this year almost.
Like you would say, and now I'm going to guess, so you're not thrilled with Donald Trump, is that correct? Just checking.
You could say, yeah.
You could say that.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, okay. And so you would almost say Donald Trump can be president if the Cubs win the World Series.
If I got 4 in a row, then definitely.
Wow. That's big.
I would take that.
I would take that in a second.
Really?
Oh, by the way, I looked that poem up. Do you want to hear it?
No. What are you saying?
Yeah, it goes like this. Roses are red, violets are blue, tinkers to eaters to chance. Woo! Go Cubs.
Oh, that sounds like maybe that was the
Right.
short version.
Well, we have a 1 hour show, Blair.
Yeah, right. It's like the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Yes.
There's
Right.
lots of different verses.
Rhyme of the Ancient Seattle Mariner, yes.
Right, exactly. So wow.
That poem would have been a big deal, but it was.
Yeah, I believe you. So what do you?
It's a simplicity that makes it memorable.
Right, fair enough. I find that amazing that you would take 4 Cubs. Do you feel like you would be bored by the 4th World Series win and regret saying that Donald Trump should be president? Everybody here is shaking their head no.
I would take a Panthers Super Bowl and a Braves World Series.
Wow.
And that's all I need. And Donald Trump could be president.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. You and I have guys.
The Braves won the World Series
like ever.
In the 90s.
It's been such a long time though.
But you're talking to a Cubs fan.
I know, but it's still been a long time.
So like even I know it's been over 100 years. Like even I know that.
Look, the Braves won 14 straight.
The last day of the Braves field that's been around since '97. What a crazy history Turner Field has.
We need new place.
Wow, you guys, I just for the record do not feel like I would trade any sporting match victories to have Donald Trump as president.
Well,
but
you're not a true fan.
Well, you know what? I'm comfortable with that trade-off.
If the Cowboys would simply score a touchdown now and get even with the 49ers, it'd be all right with me.
You have a very low threshold for what you're trying to trade. Gary, not so into politics, really.
All right.
I'm gonna build a wall to put all of the Cubs trophies on. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's not very nice.
Right.
Mr. Bishop, what would you be willing to you'd have Donald Trump as president,
yes.
but some sort of sports
surprise. He's already voting for Trump.
Well, okay, so then it might not be much. It might be a little league game.
I just want to run Bartertown. That's what I want to run.
What's Bartertown?
Well, that's a Mad Max thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You want to be ahead of the black market and the apocalyptic aftermath.
I'm not voting, so I'm on some sort of weird kill list, okay? I'm not doing that. Silly.
Fair enough.
Like it matters.
Fair enough. All right. Mr. Bishop does not believe in the integrity of our political system, Mike.
I as well.
Just so you know.
I'm not voting either.
Well, look, okay. We won't.
That's a different show.
That's a different show.
I hate them both. So
okay. That's a different show.
I like how quickly this show's about to turn into Alex Jones here for a second. Conspiracy theories. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, before we get to our game, tell us a little bit about Angelino in the Outfield and your Gentleman Scumbag podcast.
Angelino in the Outfield's a blog I write every week talking about baseball. It's written for baseball nerds and for people that don't know anything about baseball.
Oh, so I
try to make it. Yeah, you might still have questions if you don't know anything about statistics. I try to explain it, but it's like with my wife in mind. You know what I mean? Like if she could read it, and because I took her to an Angels game, and I told her that Mike Trout was the best player in baseball. In that game, he went like 0 for 3 with a walk, and she's like, I didn't think he was that good.
Right. 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 Maybe I should have your wife on the podcast, and she and I can talk about that kind of stuff.
Right. And then we went to Dodger Stadium, and she's like, baseball's boring. And I was like, no. And I started explaining, like, every tiny small thing that was happening so she could have, like, an appreciation for it. It's kind of...
Did it work?
I talk about... Yes, absolutely. Okay. So I try to talk about things that, you know, more people that don't... I want people to like baseball, and that's kind of the goal of that. With Gentlemen Scumbags, it's me and comedian Mike Burns,
sure,
who is my best friend. He was the best man at my wedding, and we tell debaucherous drinking stories.
And when you're talking about the blog and you want people to love baseball, something that we've brought up a lot, you know, from time to time, we're coming up on our 100th episode-ish, and we've brought up a couple times, like, things that we could do or the league could do to make baseball more interesting for a modern audience. Is there anything that you think wouldn't destroy the game but could make it more interesting?
I think that baseball does, like, a terrible job with being shareable on social media. They don't allow you to show, like, highlights or anything. Whereas, like, every awesome, like, thing that Steph Curry or LeBron James or the NFL does seems a lot more readily available on YouTube and on Facebook and things like that. Baseball has something crazy happen almost, like, every week, and people don't know about it because you can't do it without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. And it's kind of like, you know, people should probably know about this stuff and, you know, get people more excited about it.
You know, that's really interesting because normally we're like, oh, there should be a clock on how quickly the pitcher has to pitch the next pitch or something along those lines, something that like Mike Greenberg from Mike and Mike might suggest. But that's interesting. You're just saying that because they've locked up so tight all the, you know, for copyright and trademark reasons, all their clips, they're actually slitting their own throat by not allowing people to share the crazy stuff that happens.
Right, and also baseball, like, there's a new way to talk about baseball, which could get more people excited about it. The way the things people are thinking about it is changing the way it's played, and that's been happening for like a decade plus. That would probably make more people interested in the way that, you know, it happens. And to me, the history of baseball is so much more interesting than any other sport. The statistics are better than any other sport. The game itself is not fast-paced, but I think if they understood what was going on, then they might like it more than just, you know, putting a ball in the net or like running past, you know, into the end zone. It's because those sports are so easy to understand. I think that someone just needs to explain the stuff better.
Right. And it's my husband is shaking his head because he started, you know, memorizing the backs of baseball cards when he was 4 years old in like 1970. So he's Gary, you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, if you don't mind here, Mike, we like to play a little sort of like a fun game show trivia kind of thing with each of our guests. And for no reason in particular, I thought it would be fun to ask you a few trivia questions about the most egregious losing streaks in sports history.
Okay.
If that's cool.
For no reason.
For no particular reason. Maybe.
Okay.
Let's see, Gary. Why don't you ask him whichever one of that list strikes your fancy.
I don't have time to read all these, so I'll just read the first one.
Okay.
This 34-game losing streak is the longest in Division I football history. During the team's winless 1981 season, they were outscored 505-82, an average of 40 points per game.
Any thoughts?
I'm going to guess Northwestern.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding,
excellent
ding,
guess.
ding. That's an excellent guess, and you spent a lot of time in Chicago, so that makes sense there. You might know that. Okay, Drew, why don't you ask him number 3 there, Drew?
All right, in 1976 and 77, this team lost their first 26 games. From 83 to 86, this same team set a record in the NFL for 14 consecutive losing seasons.
I know that one.
Oh, man. Who was bad when I was a little kid?
That's how we put it in perspective for ourselves.
They had fantastic uniforms.
They've got a piratey
Man.
name.
Yes, and they have a pirate ship built onto their stadium.
The Buccaneers.
Yay! Ding, 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 ding. We really like to set our guests up for success.
Right.
Like,
I can tell. Those were great clues.
yes, well, you're welcome.
It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Got any thoughts?
Okay, let's see.
I should have pretended to not know it's still secret.
Right, yeah, I'm going to need a little more help. What's the first initial? Okay, I'm going to read number 5 here. 2 teams own the NHL record with 17 consecutive losses. They were also involved in an odd, coincidental losing streak with each other.
That's a hard question.
Okay,
Does that one hit a little close to
that's
home?
hockey.
Oh man, I don't really know anything about hockey.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that Gary doesn't like half of it because we lived in D.C. for a long time.
You're not going to clue him in.
All right.
I'm just saying, if you're a Cubs fan, you should be a Blackhawks fan. I'm a Blackhawks fan. They're a great team.
Okay. Well, it's the Capitals and the Sharks. The Capitals and the Sharks.
The Capitals and the Sharks.
Oh, congratulations! Ding, 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 ding. Woohoo! All right. Congratulations there. Okay, let's do a baseball one. Why don't you read number 8 there for
Number
me?
8?
Yeah.
Okay. In 1963, this pro baseball team lost 23 consecutive games, which was 1 game shy of the all-time National League record held by the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. The team would eventually finish the 61 season with an overall record of 47-107.
So what
And that is
team?
not
the
what
Mets?
That's what I thought, but that's not right.
It was not the Mets.
The 62 Mets are the terrible team.
Right.
63.
Same division, though.
It's National League. Well, fuck, is it the Cubs?
No.
That would have been appropriate.
It is the Phillies. The Phillies.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Gary, ask another one there, Gary.
How about from 1993 to 2012, this team set an MLB record with 20 consecutive losing seasons, the longest such streak in any of the.
Pirates.
Yes.
Pirates.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. You want to
They have
finish?
a piratey name.
Yes. Well, lots of piratey names.
He's a Cubs
here.
fan. He knows about losers.
Right. Well, that
Oh.
was sort of the conceit of the game.
Right.
Aren't you a Cubs fan?
In fairness.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. On January 4th, 2014, this team was defeated by the Indianapolis Colts in Colts, not the Colts. That would be
That would be a
be
hell of a
weird.
name.
That'd be weird. The Colts in an AFC wildcard playoff game at Lucas Oil Stadium. The loss marked the team's 8th consecutive playoff loss, which is now an NFL record, surpassing the Detroit Lions' total of 7 from 91 to 2011. This team has not won a playoff game since 1994. What team is it?
Is that Cincinnati?
No. It is. It's in the middle of the country.
They got an Indian-y name.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding,
I think
ding.
he's got them all right. You got them all right.
Yeah, all of them right so far, which is exciting. Which is exciting. All right, why don't we just, you know what? We'll just wrap it up, I think, with number 11. Gary, you want to read that?
Sure. This Major League Baseball team has gone 105 years without a World Series championship. They lost their last 7 World Series appearances, which is an MLB record, and their only 3 National League Championship Series appearances.
Do you need a hint?
What is the team?
I really don't. I think that you guys should have me on after this series, and we can talk about it.
It's a Barry kind of name, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Rawr. Except the little one.
I don't-
Rawr. Like if we're doing Goldilocks, it's not the 2-bed. It's the small.
It's just right.
Yeah, it's just right. It's
Guys, this question is just mean.
yeah.
That's true. Well, Blair wrote them.
Blair made the question.
Blair
so-
wrote 'em.
Well, I don't know about sports. I didn't know how much it would hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew
But
that.
you had hopes, though. You had high hopes. You didn't know.
I knew it
Yeah.
would hurt. And I did it. Well, we would love to have you on after the World Series to hear one way or the other. Do you have any shows or anything coming up that you want to plug while we have you here before we say goodbye?
Nothing worth talking about.
Me neither.
Mike Brightside, we've very much enjoyed having you on. You know a lot, and I think we would love to have you on just as the baseball season ends to hear, how
Which
things
is today, by the way.
Well, no, I mean with the playoffs and everything, the World Series, to just learn, see what we've learned.
There's a long way to go before the World Series.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take it one day at a time.
It's going to be very interesting. I'm excited.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, we're pulling for you, Mike, and thank you so much.
you.
It was really wonderful talking to you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye now.
Kind of want Big Papi to win.
Bye.
Oh, you want the Red Sox guy to
I
win?
would love to see the Red Sox and Cubs in the World Series. I think that would be a great World Series.
All right, guys. Well, I think that that pretty much sums it up for us this week. Listeners, you can join us next week when our guest will be comedian Mia Jackson. Thanks to our contributors, Joe Perot and Wills Maxwell. Download all the episodes in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Check us out at patreon.com. And find us on Facebook, Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fant Wife. Thank you, Mr. Bishop, for taking us out with the jazz trumpet stylings of Mr. Al Hurt.